Morning guys, Mark Ferrasci, Pro-Tech Dog Training with Rayo. As many of you know, a lot of times I'll mess up on the dog's pronunciation. It was actually spelled R-A-Y-O. Rayo is how it's pronounced. I guess it means lightning in Spanish, right? Rayo, good boy. That's Rayo. That's Rayo, good boy. Here you go. So now if you notice, we have a pinch collar on him, okay? Now what you've got is you've got a bully breed. So they're a breed like a Mastiff. They're very large and they get used to being able to use the power of their body to pull you around and to do things that they want to do, and they end up learning real fast that they can overpower you, and so they're just going to bull their way through. It's in their nature. Another reason to call them a bully, huh? Yeah. So in a general sense though, a pinch collar I don't want to use if I'm doing any type of socialization or interaction with other dogs. I'm trying to worry about reactivity or any of that, because a dog has something that's very common as far as the pity breeds. Okay, I used to talk about this to Caesar all the time, and this was another one that there's several things that I feel very much in my heart that I taught Caesar, and one of those he calls red level dogs. Okay, and where he got that was from me, and I don't call it red level. I would call it red level as far as the dog's reactionary and what happens when that happens, and it's very common with the pit bull breeds. He got that from me, changed it a little bit and made it his own, but in reality and truth it came from me. And what it boils down to is that the dog pity breeds, certain breeds that have a tendency to shut off pain. They don't feel pain. It's part of their genetic makeup, because they're fighting dogs, right? From back in their genetic makeup. This dog has been a dog they bred into this nice big old shape, and a lot of changes over the years, and they call them a bully breed. They bred this into the dog. It's a genetic morph, basically. And the dog's nature is little bit less gaming, which means he's less prone to be a dog fighter if you do things the right way. So in a nutshell, I want to be aware of the fact that if I put a correction on him to try to tell him no and correct him when another dog is around and he's in a fighting mode, in that mental attitude, his emotional state of mind, and you go to correct him, that pain is actually going to be shut off if he flares into a fight. And it's actually going to make things worse, because he's going to think the other dog is doing the pain, and he's going to go up in aggression, not down. So nowadays they have what's called a dominant dog collar. We've got one coming for him. And basically if I was to do any type of interaction with other dogs, I would not want to have him on the pinch. I'd put him on that dominant dog collar. And it goes up really close to the ears and right up underneath the neck real high. And then when it draws up, you're basically taking the wind out of the dog. He can't breathe. If he can't breathe, he's going to shut down, because he just can't breathe, right? So that's important when you're dealing with dog aggression, especially with the pity breeds, that you use the right tools, right? You would want to use a dominant dog collar versus a pinch collar, because the pinch collar is going to elicit a pain reaction that might end up being a problem for you, an escalated dog fighting problem versus de-escalate it, right? How you do things is very important. So I can put this on him to get him to learn not to pull, and that's what we're doing now, and to do some of my basic I'm doing a mix with him, which is a little bit of avoidance and a lot of the food, and teaching him the rewards of no, good, and yes, and teaching him the baseboard of our communication baseboard. But without the pinch, he would just keep pulling his way through, and I'd never get through to the dog. So it's important that I have enough skill in my tool bag to understand how to mix things up. This is what we call a balanced trainer, right? I have the ability to do that because I've done a lot of different methods over the years, and I don't believe in just food. And so the boils down to, it's the nature of the dog that you're working. Work the dog in front of you. Yes. Yes. Good. Now I've been using the clicker, so he already understands this. Yes. This movement from my chest, and all of a sudden I say the marker word, and then I move my hand down to the dog. So he's already watching. Watch, see what he does? Yes. But I haven't loaded my yes marker. I've loaded the clicker. He's used to the clicker sound. And you can see that right away. He's already looking up. He's already used to the pattern of seeing my hands and following these hands, okay? So right now I'm trying to use a clicker versus Rayo. Good boy, good looking dog. He's gonna turn out to be a very good dog. I have a friend of mine that kind of gave me a feedback, and their analogy of the breed and everything else was right on, that these guys are a very good couch potato type dog, very good companion dog, good for the family. He's not going to be very agile. See how big and bulky he is? So he's not going to be an agility master. He's not going to go into the building to go search and find the bad guy like some of my herders would do. So you're not going to get that out of the dog. So we accept the dog for who he is, and we work him on his level, which is when I'm using the pinch collar, and I'm using a little bit more avoidance and escape type of work, and I'm mixing it in with a lot of food and a no, good, and yes, and I'm mixing it in with that communication baseboard so he learns down, good. And right now I'm going to do the good marker, good. And it's working very well so far with him. So we're doing pretty good with him. I didn't have any tables out. Nope. Rayo, good looking boy you are. Yes, good boy, good. Rayo, yes, good boy. And all I'm doing is loading my yes marker so I can get away from the clicker a little bit. But I'll use both intermittently. Yes, the clicker will come in when I want to do certain things. Good, good. He's already learning this good duration marker. Good. And I'm just doing the same thing I'd be on the table, right? I'm out here bouncing around a little bit, getting stupid. Good. Setting up my distraction. And I wonder if a few of you can tell you a lot of my baseboard of my work is based on the 3 Ds. That's all we're working on here. Can you tell me what the 3 Ds are? Distance? Nope. Good. Distraction and duration, right? And that's all we're doing with this. We're just basically implanting the 3 Ds, right? And that's how this all starts. Good. Okay, with me moving around the dog. Good. And Rayo shows himself to be a smart little boy. Smart enough to